You know, they usually say there's no smoke without fire. No matter how small that smoke might be, there's probably a fire brewing somewhere. And I know Arsenal fans might not want to really, really hear this, but Noni Madueke, is, that news is heating up. And earlier this morning, I think Plenty Gold came out saying, that was almost like an agreement offered to Noni. Fab said nothing, concrete yet. Yeah, he's of interest and all that good stuff. Plenty Gold doubled down on it. He said, yo, I'm telling you, essentially, agreement has been, an offer at least has been sent to Madueke's side. And look, we're going to find out eventually how this is going to play out. The news in the last few, hours, it's showing that, Chelsea don't really want to, sell Noni, but a deal between 45. Once they start saying the team doesn't really want to sell you, but they're willing to accept offers over, bruh, they want to sell you. I'm not gonna want to sell something if I'm not trying to sell a car, and you come to me saying, yo, I like that car. How much would you sell it to me for? If I'm not trying to say it, I'll just be like, yo, bro, this shit ain't for sale. Job done. I go back into my house, lock my door, and we ain't got to speak. If you come to my house and you're like, hey, I saw this in front of your house, I really like it. Are you looking to get rid of it? And I go, nah, bro. Nah. Have a good day. See you later. That's it. But if you pull up and I'm like, well, I'm not really trying to sell it, but if you gave me like 50 racks, I would consider it. That just means I'm open into sitting at the table for the right amount. So you might as well tell me like, yo, he's up for sale. Then saying, oh, they don't want to sell him, but if you offer a certain price, they're gonna take it. Bro, no. You're letting us know that, guys, you want to sell him, and you letting people know this how much it's gonna take to come to the table. It's really that simple. And for Noni, like, I think he's been here 2 years, going on 3 now. If you look at when he first joined the club to now, yes, there have been improvements in his game from then till now, but I don't think those improvements are good enough overall. There's no reason you should be scoring 4 goals in one game, beginning of the season, and end the season on 7 goals. Like, there's absolutely no way, bro. You cannot start the season off like that, on fire, on smoke, talking big, backing it up, and then you finish the season like this. It was a good season for him, but it was not a good season at all. And if you're looking at the kind of wingers we've had at this club, look, reality is that kind of quality ain't coming back. But just if you're trying to base it on the metrics of some of the wingers we've had, even your Solomon Kudus, and we've had to play Daniel Sturridge out there sometimes on the wing, and it's just Noni is just falling short. And yes, I think there's room for him to improve. I think there's definitely going to be a level he can hit, but at the same time, it's kind of like, look, we're at that point where we need like guaranteed surefire to actually make things happen. We're trying to stay in the Champions League. We're trying to qualify every year. We're trying to challenge for league titles. We're trying to challenge for like titles in general. Noni doesn't take us there. Now, if Noni goes to Arsenal, right? Noni doesn't have to be the main starter. Noni has been starting on our flanks for a minute now. At Arsenal, he plays that supporting cast role. So it's not really going to be a lot of pressure on him anyway to perform, because Saka's going to be playing a lot of their games. When Saka's out, you can bring Noni in, but you could also say, you know what, he might fit in there better because they have the structure. They have the we're trying to win now mentality, and they have the setup ready. So Noni could just go in there and fit in like a glove. You understand what I mean? So it necessarily wouldn't even be like a bad move for Arsenal. I think they're just looking at it from a point of view like Noni is coming from Chelsea, and I think for them that's what they cannot fathom. But I think this will be a smart deal for Arsenal, actually, like a nice smart pickup. You know what I mean? And Everybody wins. You understand what I mean? Noni, he leaves. We get Kudus in, who is another target. We've been looking at. Remember, we agreed personal terms with Kudus the season when Pochettino came. We just didn't sign Kudus because we signed Cole Palmer. We agreed personal terms, and also we didn't sign Kudus because we were very focused on that Moises Caicedo deal. So that took a lot of the attention, the resources, the efforts, trying to get Caicedo and still trying to do something with Kudus. And we just never really went back in that deal, and he ended up going to West Ham. So the interest has already been there. The conversations have already taken place like from 2 years ago. Kudus will want to come to Chelsea. Like Tottenham are in the race to sign Kudus, but bro, come on, let's be real. You know where you have to go. Like Spurs, they fluked this Europa League, and if you gave them this 8 out of 10 times, they're probably not gonna win that game again against any better teams. They got United, they got lucky, great. But if you really want to elevate your career, and you're looking at the fan base as well. Like Kudus, he's Ghanaian. Michael Essien played for Chelsea. Like, that African, connection and that heritage. Didier Drogba, Solomon Kalou, Essien. Like, you just know, this is where you need to be. Like Mikel Obi, this is essentially like home from home. You understand what I mean? Chelsea is what it is. Don't go to Tottenham. I don't think he's gonna go to Tottenham. The only reason I see Kudus going to Spurs is that we don't want to pay up for him. Like, we just don't show interest enough, and we're like, you know what? Nah, we don't want to. For me, because if we show interest, he's coming to us. Like, we're both in the Champions League, so we both have that to offer. We finished higher than Spurs. We're going to finish higher than Spurs again. So, the potential for us is kind of high. But again, Arsenal, like, just think about it this way. We've always done good business over the years. You understand what I mean? Noni, potentially. We've given you Kepa for 5 mil, Jorginho, David Luiz, Petr Cech, Yossi Benayoun. Did I miss somebody? Like, in recent times, Kai Havertz, like, we've done good business. Like, we've done decent business. So, like, this should not be like something you guys don't want to come to the table about. Let's talk. For you, great price. We can give you Noni for like 40 M's plus like another 5 additional add-ons, easy, attainable, achievable add-ons. Like, nobody gets hurt. Everybody wins. You get your backup to Saka, because we've been saying Arsenal need a backup. Arsenal need a backup for what you call it? For Saka. Like, you can't keep playing my man till his skin falls off the bone like some chicken. You play Noni, you have Noni, as a winger, he can come in. Noni also gives you that flexibility on the left, on the right. Like, you have things to look for. Like, you have something you can harness. We know Mikel Arteta, he always signs players, and we've been led to believe he improves people. Kai Havertz right now is like one of the top dogs for Arsenal, according to Arsenal fans, right? So now just imagine the work Arteta could do on Noni Madueke. Like, just imagine the potential and the ability, he can squeeze out of Noni. Just imagine that. Noni goes to Arsenal and he becomes one of the dangerous, 1v1 demons in the league. The sky and the ceiling is really, really the limit, So for me, I think like, this should be a no-brainer. Teams like Tottenham should also come to the table. Like, bro, we could do like a nice little like package deal for some of these like London clubs, Tottenham, Arsenal, West Ham. We come to the table. Let's talk. We could do like a 3-for-1 special. We could do buy one, you get the other ones like 50% off. We could do these things. Like, we have Disasi, we have Joao Felix, we have Nkunku, we have Broja, we have people. Badiashile is injured, but like, if you wanted to entertain a conversation, like, we could talk. Dewsbury Hall, We can make something happen. Tottenham, they can definitely do with someone like, a Dewsbury Hall in their midfield. Like their midfield doesn't really look that great. Dewsbury Hall, UCL Dewsbury Hall, you've seen him. Club World Cup Dewsbury Hall. Like he's, in the last couple of months, he's been killing it. So I think it's just like, come to the table, man. Give us Kudus. We give you Sanchez. Dewsbury Hall is right there available. Now Noni Madueke is there. Like we could talk, we could do some stuff. So I think it's not bad, and like these Noni, news is again, a lot of Arsenal fans are saying, are they thinking, it's a smoke screen, but I don't think so. When you're signing Norgard, Mosquito, and these people, like they're discussing Noni as in separate deals. So it just, bro, just complete the set. You sign a goalkeeper in Kepa. You sign your midfielder from Brentford. You want to sign the wingers, Eze, Noni Madueke. Boom. You get Sesko. Bro, you're good. That's depth. That's options. That's attacking, quality right there. Eze can take over from, Odegaard immediately, effective immediately. You play him and you don't have to play him on the left. Just play him centrally. He does a lot of damage over there. Imagine this Arsenal team. Eze, Noni in certain games, Martinelli, and then you got Sesko up front or Kai Havertz. Like in the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, some of, when they play in some of these relegation, fodder. Like it's a balanced enough team. Like I think Arsenal would definitely create chances and they'll score a lot of goals. So I don't understand why they should be frowning at this opportunity. I think this is a great deal. And he, like, look, you can also let Wanieri also fight for those central positions with Odegaard, and you have your winger ready to go. Like it's just good. Like it's a great deal. So hopefully we see some, developments. I know we've also been linked to Malik Fofana. We'll see if Chelsea really want to pull the trigger on that. But yeah, right now we're looking solid. We're being said, we're being told that we're looking at we're in the market for center backs. I think we're still signing goalkeeper. So just slow and steady, we're gonna be all right. And another thing I wanted to finish off on is that when you looked at last season, a lot of our wingers, weren't really, or a lot of our forwards weren't really like shooters. Like Jackson ain't a shooter. Noni shoots sometimes, but he ain't really a shooter. Like he takes shots per game. Yes, maybe like I think 1 point something, but he ain't really a shooter. Jadon Sancho ain't really a shooter like that either. Now you look at the three you brought in. Delap, straight shooter, he can shoot. Gittens, shooter. Joao Pedro, shooter. You're bringing in Kudus as well, shooter. So I think I like the fact that we're trying to bring in players that are not afraid to lace it from outside the box. We're not afraid of people who want to take chances. Sometimes you just got to shoot the ball to see if you'd get a chance of either scoring, a rebound, forcing a good save, a corner, anything. So bringing in Kudus, Gittens, you've brought in Kudus, Gittens, Joao Pedro, Delap. That already gives you people who are willing to just take a chance, and in as much as it doesn't look like needle movers, I still think these guys bring us a lot to the table. Think about it. If you're finishing fourth, 5 points behind Man City, not that many points behind Arsenal, and you had to go a whole season with Jadon Sancho who doesn't shoot, Jackson who does not shoot, Noni who doesn't shoot accurately and doesn't shoot often at all. You're really like you're relying on Enzo, Palmer, and even Jackson to a certain extent with them 10 goals. but you're relying on Enzo and Palmer to be just super creative. You understand what I mean? But when you got people who are ready, they're ready to go, we're good. So we'll see how these news develops tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to seeing the whole Noni situation. I think it's looking promising, and it really could be like Noni genuinely could be a great piece of buy without Arsenal even really deep in it for a second. Like Noni could really end up being a smart pickup. Like just the potential is there. Arteta is the guy to be able to harness potential out of people. Like one of the highest paid managers, one of the good managers in the league. Like he has, the ability to just bring the best out of people. So, Noni's here. Just talk to us, for you, good price. We've always done business. Let's not act different now. Let's not act brand new. This is not new. You know what I mean? We always do this. Like we fight sometimes, but like, we get back together. We make up and we make deals, So Arsenal, let me know. Guys, like the video, sub to the channel, hop in the comments. Let me know how you feeling about Noni potentially going to Arsenal. Kudus coming in. Let me know how you feel about the other dimensions. Gittens, Pedro, Delap, potentially Kudus now coming in. Could be giving us attacking wise, and yeah, I'm going to see y'all guys in the next one. Peace.